You see a lot of drone news these days. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 things that everyone needs to know about drones, including drone home delivery. Let's talk about it. No matter whether you're a professional drone pilot or a recreational drone pilot, or maybe you don't even care about drones at all, I can assure you some of these items likely will affect you. So let's jump right into it. Number 1, new FAA amendment rules are on the way for drone operations. For a complete list of all the rule changes that the FAA is proposing, go to faa.gov, but there are 3 rule changes that are garnering all the attention from these FAA amendments. Number 1, licensed drone pilots, Part 107 drone pilots, will now be able to fly over people in certain situations. The FAA has outlined certain situations in which a licensed drone pilot can go ahead and fly over people without a waiver. Number 2, instead of having to go to an airport every 2 years to take your Part 107 to renew your Part 107, the FAA is proposing that every 2 years that you're subject to new training and that you're informed on the changes in drone laws, drone regulations, and essentially things that you as a UA drone pilot will be responsible for. So personally, I think this is fantastic. Training, so much better than being forced to cram for a test, just rememorizing things from 2 years before. Training, much better than taking a test. The third rule change would allow for Part 107 UA pilots to fly at night without a waiver, providing that their drone has lights on them that can be seen for 3 miles, much like you find on the Mavic Enterprise. Now, before the FAA implemented these rules, they wanted to hear from pilots, licensed pilots and hobby pilots, which brings me to number 2. Most pilots, most UA pilots, dropped the ball this time as the FAA asked for our input on these rules and other rules that are coming down the pike. So why do I say that most pilots dropped the ball? Well, out of 100,000 registered drones in the United States, just about 1,000 pilots left comments for the FAA to consider. Out of 100,000 people who own drones, only 1,000 people left comments. I don't even know what to say. What do you think? Leave your comments in the section below. And speaking of safety brings me to number 3. You might have heard about this item on the news when a 14-year-old hobbyist disregarded all kinds of FAA rules and flew his drone over Fenway Park during a Red Sox Blue Jays game. First, you have to be 15 even to register a drone. So at 14, he's not supposed to be flying a drone. Second, he flew at night. Without a waiver currently, you're not supposed to fly a drone at night. That's another no-no. And third, and likely his most serious crime, flying over Fenway Park during a game is strictly prohibited. Flying over any professional stadium during a game is labeled and classified as a temporary restricted flying area, so it means you can't fly there, period. What do you think should happen to this young man? Should they throw the book at him? Should they be lenient? What do you think? Leave a comment in the section below. Number 4, there's a cool new drone on the market. Parrot is competing with DJI, and they're coming out with the Parrot Anafi Thermal to compete with the Enterprise. This competition is fantastic for search, rescue, and emergency teams that can now buy drones to assist them in their efforts without breaking the bank. For just under $2,000, a municipality can get a DJI Mavic Enterprise, or they can get a Parrot Anafi Thermal, and I'm telling you, these drones are super fantastic, and they really do the job for any search, rescue, and emergency crew that utilizes them. Advantage everyone. In fact, drones being used for search, rescue, and emergency crews have grown in popularity so much so that we're seeing how they pay off. You might have heard about the recent story where a 90-year-old missing woman with dementia was discovered by using a drone. Drones, I think, moving forward are going to be an outstanding tool for every search and rescue team that utilizes this amazing technology. Which brings me to number 5. This is the one everybody's been waiting for. Home delivery with drones. Drone deliveries are imminent, and while most people were waiting for Amazon, possibly DHL, to be the first companies to have home delivery using a drone, in fact, it will be Google. Next week, Google is expected to get permission from the FAA to have some home deliveries using a drone in rural areas. Now, fun fact, this has been going on for the last 2 years without problems, in fact, very successfully in Australia. The biggest complaint? The noise of the drone. safety issues, no problem thus far. So again, sometime next week, Google is expected to get permission to send out non-line of sight drones to deliver for home delivery. It's coming. What say you? Are you ready for home delivery via the drone? Please leave a comment in the section below. And if you had an opinion on any of these issues regarding drones, please leave your comment in the section below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please like it, share it with all your friends. Also go over to my YouTube channel, click that bell notification and subscription button so you're notified when I make future videos. Follow me on Twitter, and of course go to my website, ronrobinsonstudios.com. You can see a lot more videos there as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.